The asteroid belt of Sector Theta 12 was a graveyard of forgotten ships. Twisted metal, scorched hulls, and derelict cargo pods floated silently in the dim light of distant stars. Among these ruins, scavengers hunted for anything they could sell, hoping to find rare tech or salvage parts. Most avoided asteroid Zeta 9. It was isolated, its jagged surface scarred by centuries of space storms. But for Jarek, a human mechanic with a reputation for fixing the impossible, Zeta 9 was just another opportunity. Jarek's ship, a small but sturdy freighter, shuttled between the rubble with precision. He had been following rumors of a hidden vessel, one so old it might be worth a fortune. Half a credit, that was the price he had been told, whispered through the networks of black market traders. Half a credit for a ship? The deal sounded absurd. Even a rusted cargo pod would cost more. But curiosity, human curiosity, was hard to resist. The asteroid loomed before him, gray and jagged with shadows that seemed alive. Docking was tricky. Zeta 9 was unstable, its surface littered with loose rock and debris. Jarek's hands moved over the controls with practiced skill. He had been a pilot, a fighter, and a mechanic, and his life had taught him that speed and care often saved more than luck ever could. The broker was waiting. He was small, wiry, and green-skinned, with sharp eyes that darted around nervously. He didn't look dangerous, but that was the kind of alien that could trick you before you even realized it. "You're Jarek, right?" the broker hissed. His voice was dry, like gravel sliding in a chute. "I didn't expect a human to show up. Most of your kind would run at the price. Half a credit, really?" Jarek leaned against his ship, arms crossed, studying the vessel half buried under rock and dust. It was old, its hull scarred and cracked. A ship like this would never fly without someone who understood machines the way he did. "I heard it's yours," Jarek said calmly. "I'll take it." The broker's eyes widened. That's impossible. "This ship..." He hesitated, then shook his head. "Very well. Half a credit as promised." The transaction was quick. Data chips were exchanged, a handshake or whatever the alien equivalent of it was, and the deal was done. Jarek stepped back, feeling a surge of excitement. He had paid next to nothing for something that could change everything. Moving the ship onto a flat ledge was harder than Jarek expected. Its weight was unusual and its engines were silent, as if it had been asleep for centuries. But Jarek didn't care. He loved challenges, and this ship promised one. Back at his workshop, Jarek started the inspection. He cleaned dust from the cockpit, wiped away decades of grime, and studied the controls. The panels were unfamiliar, unlike anything he had seen in the Federation databases. Symbols glowed faintly under his fingers. Old energy lines hummed faintly, almost like a heartbeat. "Strange," Jarek muttered to himself. "This ship isn't just old, it's different." He began repairs. Broken circuits, damaged conduits, and a cracked power core made the work slow. But he had time. He had a feeling this ship was not ordinary, and ordinary was never his style. Hours turned into days. Jarek barely ate, barely slept, completely absorbed in the work. Every repaired panel brought a flicker of life. Every fixed circuit sent sparks of hope across the hull. Then one evening, as the asteroid's dim sun cast long shadows across his workshop, he did it. He pressed a button, almost absent-mindedly, and the ship shivered. Lights flickered on. Panels glowed. And then a voice. It was soft, melodic, almost human. "Awake?" Jarek jumped back. His heart raced. He wasn't expecting a voice. Yes? "Who? What are you?" "Ice from the ship. I was dormant." The voice was calm, measured, and strangely poetic. "You have awakened me." Jarek rubbed his eyes. You're a talking ship?" "Yes, I am not ordinary." "I was built for a purpose that has been forgotten. My systems are ancient yet powerful. Only a capable pilot may awaken them fully." Jarek's mind raced. Talking ship? Ancient technology? A purpose long forgotten? This was more than he had bargained for. And yet excitement ran through him like electricity. Humans loved puzzles, loved challenges, loved the impossible. And this ship, this mysterious vessel, was the ultimate puzzle. He spent the next hours talking to it. The ship introduced itself as Veyron, a name that had survived centuries in hidden archives. Veyron had been part of an advanced fleet, a fleet built during a war the galaxy barely remembered. Its systems were designed for defense, for exploration, and for learning, but never for aggression without reason. The ship showed him schematics of its own engines. Faster than any human ship, shields stronger than the Federation's latest cruisers, systems that adapted, learned, and protected. Yarrick could hardly believe his eyes. And yet the voice was calm. It warned him that the Federation would come. Once activated, Veyron's energy signature could be detected across light years. Jarek laughed. The Federation? Let them come. I'm not hiding, I just want to understand you first. As he spoke, sensors on the ship began to respond to his touch as if recognizing him as its pilot. Lights pulsed gently following his hands. Panels rearranged themselves. Data streams flowed like rivers across holographic displays. Veyron was alive and it trusted him. The next morning, the asteroid's gray horizon was disturbed by shadows moving in space. Federation scouts, small fast ships probing, scanning. Yarrick felt a thrill of danger, but he didn't panic. He had Veyron. And Veyron had systems that could hide him, protect him, and even fight if necessary. The scouts transmitted a message. Human pilots, surrender the vessel immediately. You are in violation of galactic law. The ship is Federation property, comply, Jarek smirked. Not today, he said softly. You'll have to come and get it. Veyron hummed in response, almost like a laugh. You understand, the ship can protect itself. But caution is advised. Federation is persistent. Jarek nodded, already planning. He didn't know the full capabilities of Veyron yet, but he knew one thing. Humans had a talent for the impossible. Humans solved problems, adapted, and persevered where others failed. And that would be enough for now. He spent the rest of the day testing the systems, exploring hidden compartments, and studying the star maps Veyron projected. The maps showed sectors that had been erased from Federation records. Old colonies, lost fleets, and points of interest marked in symbols no human had seen before. Where did you come from? Yarrick asked. I was built to explore, protect, and remember. My creators are gone. The war is over. Only the lessons remain. And now, you, Jarek, are part of that legacy. Jarek's eyes widened. Me? Why me? The pilot must understand the machine. The machine must understand the pilot. Only together can we unlock what is hidden, and what is hidden will change the galaxy. Even as he listened, Jarek felt a thrill unlike any he had known. Adventure, danger, discovery, curiosity, the oldest human trait, raced through him. He had bought a ship for half a credit, and now the universe itself seemed to open before him. That night, as Zeta-9 rotated silently under distant suns, Jarek sat in the cockpit. Veyron's systems hummed softly, lights pulsing in gentle patterns. Somewhere out there, the Federation was moving. Scouts would return, agents would come. But Jarek felt ready. He was a mechanic, yes, but he was more than that. He was human. And humans found a way. A quiet voice spoke from the console. Tomorrow, we begin. There are secrets you must see, and dangers you must face. Are you ready, pilot? Yarrick smiled. I was born ready. Above him, the stars stretched endlessly. Beyond the asteroid belt, beyond the Federation, beyond the known galaxy, a story was waiting, and Jarek, the mechanic who paid half a credit, was about to write it. The next morning, the pale light of Zeta-9 barely touched the jagged surfaces of the asteroid. Dust and small rocks floated lazily in the weak gravity, catching the faint rays of distant suns. Yarrick stood in the cockpit of Veyron, hands resting lightly on the controls. The ship hummed around him, alive with systems he had only begun to understand. You're awake, Jarek said, breaking the silence. His voice sounded small in the vast interior of the ship. And talking. I think I can get used to that. I'm more than awake, Veyron replied. I am ready. But readiness requires understanding. Pilot, your skills will be tested. Do you wish to proceed? Yarrick grinned. Always. Show me what you can do. Veyron's lights pulsed, illuminating panels that Jarek hadn't seen the day before. Ancient alien symbols glowed softly, and strange flowing diagrams projected into the air like holographic rivers. The ship began running diagnostic sequences and the hum grew deeper, almost like a heartbeat. The propulsion systems are partially dormant, Veyron explained, but I am capable of flight and more. Weapons, defense, sensors, all are intact though damaged. I can repair myself slowly, but I require guidance. Pilot, can you assist? Jarek leaned closer to the main console, scanning the holographic readouts. His mind, trained in engineering and mechanics, raced through possibilities. He had repaired many machines, but nothing like this. Nothing this complex. I'll help. But first, what are these systems? They don't match anything I've seen in the Federation database. They are old, ancient, built before your people were known in this sector. My creators designed me for exploration, defense, and intelligence gathering during a time of war. My technology surpasses the Federation's current capabilities by centuries. Jarek's eyes widened. Centuries? Are you saying humans weren't part of this? Humans existed, Veyron replied. But your people were not recognized, and yet one human may now influence the course of history. That human is you. Jarek laughed, a mixture of disbelief and excitement. Me? Influence history? I'm just a mechanic. You underestimate your species, Veyron said softly. Humans adapt, learn, survive. They are remarkable. You are remarkable. Jarek shook his head, but he felt a thrill run through him. This was no ordinary ship. This was not just a relic. This was a tool, a weapon, a guardian, and it had chosen him. The day passed as Jarek explored the ship's systems. Veyron guided him through interface panels, teaching him how to channel energy, how to manipulate shields, how to control propulsion. The ship adapted as he learned, changing configurations, responding to his touch. Then, in the quiet hours of the asteroid's night, the ship revealed a hidden compartment. Jarek opened it with trembling hands. Inside was a small cylindrical device glowing faintly with an energy he didn't recognize. Symbols etched on its surface pulsed softly. What is this? He asked. Memory core, Veyron replied. It contains records. Logs from the war. It may contain intelligence you will need. But caution, some knowledge is dangerous. Jarek studied the device carefully. He knew curiosity was human nature. He plugged it into the ship's systems. Immediately, holographic images flickered to life. Battles between fleets long forgotten, alien species warring over planets, and human-like figures moving among the alien crews appeared. Jarek's eyes widened. He hadn't realized humans, or beings like humans, had been involved in galactic events so long ago. There were schematics for weapons, defensive strategies, and strange energy sources. And there, in one frame, he saw a human-like figure entering Veyron's cockpit, decades or maybe centuries before him. So, someone like me piloted this ship before? He asked. Yes, Veyron said. A human, or human variant. A pilot who sought knowledge, but they did not survive the war. Their purpose ended prematurely. You may succeed where they did not. Jarek felt a chill. History was alive in this ship, and now he was part of it. Suddenly, alarms blared. Red lights flickered across the panels. The asteroid's sensors detected movement, small, fast ships approaching. Federation drones. The hum of Veyron shifted, growing tense, almost anxious. They have found us, Jarek said. Yes, Veyron replied. The Federation is persistent. They monitor ancient signals. Your activation has drawn attention. They will arrive soon. You must act, Jarek's mind raced. He wasn't a soldier. He was a mechanic. But humans had a talent for improvisation, and he intended to use it. Can we hide? He asked. Veyron hummed thoughtfully. I have systems. For stealth, cloaking, disruption of sensors. We can evade detection, but only briefly. You must learn to pilot me, fully, if we are to survive. For the next hours, Jarek practiced. He learned to manipulate the ship's engines, how to bend light to cloak its presence, how to reroute energy to shields and sensors. It was exhausting. His muscles ached, his mind raced, but each success thrilled him. He was learning not just to fly the ship, but to think with it, to become part of it. Then came the test. The drones arrived. Small, sleek Federation ships armed with scanning arrays and warning beams. They probed the asteroid, searching for the signal that had awakened Veyron. Pilot, Veyron said softly. It is time. Jarek's hands flew over the controls. The ship shivered, then lifted silently off the asteroid. Dust and rock scattered below, drifting lazily in the low gravity. The drones focused their scanners, but Veyron's stealth systems engaged. Lights bent around the hull. Energy fields disrupted incoming sensors. The drones scanned again. Nothing. Jarek grinned. They're blind. Can you believe that? I'm pleased, Veyron replied. But this is only the beginning. The Federation will not give up. They will send more. They will escalate. You must be ready, Jarek nodded. He felt exhilaration, fear, and excitement all at once. This was the life he had always dreamed of: danger, adventure, and discovery. And he was not alone. Veyron was more than a ship. It was a partner, a guardian, a guide. Hours passed. The drones withdrew, reporting only that the asteroid was empty. Yarek's relief was short-lived. He knew the Federation would not forget. They would investigate. They would try to capture the ship. But he also knew something else. Humans did not give up. Humans adapted. Humans survived. And with Veyron, he had a tool unlike anything the galaxy had seen. As the asteroid drifted silently in space, Jarek explored more of Veyron's interior. Hidden panels revealed compartments containing alien artifacts, ancient logs, and maps of long-forgotten sectors. The ship's memory banks were vast, filled with knowledge that could change the course of history. And then, tucked away in the deepest vault, Jarek found it, a stasis pod. Small, human-sized, sealed for centuries. Its purpose was unclear, but energy readings indicated it was still functional. "What is this?" Jarek whispered. "A record," Veyron said. "Of those who came before. Of humans, or humans like you. Their mission. Unfinished. Their knowledge. Incomplete. You may continue what they began." Jarek stared at the pod. The weight of responsibility pressed on him. He had bought a ship for half a credit. He had awakened a vessel that contained knowledge, power, and history beyond imagining. And now the galaxy was watching. Outside, stars shimmered cold and distant, but inside the ship, lights pulsed warmly like a heartbeat. Jarek felt a sense of connection, of purpose that he had never known before. Tomorrow he would begin the true journey. Exploration, discovery, and confrontation awaited. But tonight, he was a mechanic who had become a pilot, a human who had touched history. And the galaxy, though unaware, had taken notice. Veyron's voice was soft, almost comforting. "Rest, pilot. You will need strength. The Federation will come, but together, we are prepared." Jarek leaned back, closing his eyes. The asteroid was quiet. The universe was vast, and a story, older than the stars, was waiting to unfold. He smiled. Adventure was calling, and he was ready to answer. The asteroid belt stretched endlessly before Yarek's eyes, a silent graveyard of abandoned ships and forgotten dreams. Zeta 9 drifted behind him, its gray, jagged rocks barely visible in the distance. But for Jarek, there was no time to admire the view. Veyron hummed beneath his hands, alive and responsive. The ship's systems had stabilized after the Federation drones had withdrawn. But it was clear the Federation would return, and next time, they would be better prepared. "Veyron," Jarek said, fingers dancing across the controls, "we need to understand everything about you. There's more than just speed and stealth here, isn't there?" "Yes," the ship replied. Its voice echoed softly in the cockpit. "There are hidden chambers, records, tools, and knowledge that may alter the galaxy's understanding of history. But these are not meant for careless hands. The pilot must prove worthy." Jarek's eyes gleamed. Worthy or not, he had come this far. He started searching the ship systematically, using sensors to detect anomalies and concealed areas. Veyron guided him, projecting holographic images of structural layers beneath the hull. Hours passed as Jarek probed panels, opened hidden doors, and rerouted power to areas long dormant. In the bowels of the ship, he found the first chamber. It was small, claustrophobic, and lined with alien metal that shimmered faintly in his light. Crates and cylinders hummed softly, each one a repository of energy or information. "This is incredible," Jarek whispered. He approached a cylinder, carefully brushing away dust. The symbols etched on it glowed faintly under his touch. "What is this?" "Archive modules," Veyron said. "They contain records of the ancient war, ship logs, tactical strategies, and intelligence gathered from multiple civilizations. Some may be dangerous if misused. Approach with caution." Jarek's heart raced. A repository of knowledge older than the Federation? Weapons, fleets, and alien civilizations. All recorded here? He plugged the module into Veyron's interface. Holographic images sprang to life. Fleets of ships engaging in battles that spanned entire star systems. Alien species he had never seen. Some humanoid, some utterly strange, maneuvered through space in formations designed to crush entire planets. And then he saw it. Humans. Or humans that looked like humans standing aboard alien ships interacting with alien commanders. Their uniforms were unlike anything in modern records. Their weapons and tactics were precise, efficient, and deadly. Yet something stood out. They were fighting not for conquest, but for survival. Humans were here, Jarek murmured. Humans had this technology. Before anyone knew. Yes, Veyron said softly. Your ancestors, or variants like you, participated in conflicts that shaped the galaxy. Their purpose ended prematurely. The Federation erased much of this history. Only fragments remain. Jarek felt a shiver run down his spine. He had always known humans were clever, but he had never imagined their species had left such a mark long before the Federation declared humans insignificant. He explored further, discovering another hidden chamber. This one was larger, almost ceremonial. The walls were lined with panels that glowed with alien energy, and at the center sat a stasis pod. Its exterior was sleek, humanoid in shape, and its energy readings were stable. Veyron spoke quietly. This pod contains a record, not just data, but a living memory. A pilot from your kind or a variant entered stasis here centuries ago. Their mission, unfinished. Their knowledge, incomplete. You may continue where they left off. Jarek's pulse quickened. The weight of responsibility pressed on him, but excitement surged stronger. So, I'm not just a mechanic. I'm continuing a legacy. Yes, Veyron replied. But understand this. Knowledge carries risk. Those who seek it may find danger. Jarek nodded, absorbing the gravity of his discovery. Outside, sensors indicated movement. Asteroid fragments drifting, but no immediate threat. Still, the Federation would not wait long. He needed to understand the ship's systems, and fast. He moved through the ship's corridors, exploring each hidden compartment. Some contained energy cores. Others were filled with alien weapon prototypes. One chamber held small drones designed to repair or defend the ship autonomously. Jarek activated one. It whirred to life, scanning the environment, repairing a damaged panel nearby. This is incredible, he whispered. Self-repairing systems. Centuries ahead of anything the Federation has. Hours passed, and the human mechanic became more than a mechanic. He was a student of ancient technology, a solver of impossible puzzles. Veyron adapted to him, learning his thought patterns, predicting his actions. Together they became a unit, a partnership that neither fully understood yet but both trusted implicitly. Suddenly, an alert flashed. Sensors had detected approaching ships, not small drones this time, but something larger. Federation frigates, sleek, armed, and designed to overwhelm most defenses. They are back, Jarek said, tension tightening his chest. Yes, Veyron replied. They have traced my activation signal. Their intent is to capture. We must prepare. Jarek's mind raced. He wasn't a soldier, but humans had a talent for improvisation, for using intelligence over brute force. And he had Veyron, a ship capable of thinking, adapting, and defending itself. He moved quickly, rerouting power to shields, activating stealth systems, and deploying the autonomous repair drones. The ship hummed with energy, almost alive under his hands. Veyron, what can we do to stop them? Jarek asked. There are many, Veyron replied. Direct engagement is dangerous, but we can outsmart them. There are hidden channels, asteroid tunnels, traps within my systems that may confuse them. You must guide us. Jarek's eyes narrowed. Then we outsmart them. That's human strength. We don't need brute force, we need cunning. Using the asteroid's jagged terrain, he piloted Veyron through narrow passages, twisting and turning to evade the frigates. The Federation ships fired scanning beams, but Veyron's stealth systems distorted their sensors. Each maneuver was calculated, risky, but Jarek's instincts guided him perfectly. Hours of cat and mouse ensued. The Federation ships were relentless, but Jarek's understanding of the asteroid belt, combined with Veyron's advanced systems, allowed them to remain unseen. At one point, a frigate fired a pulse weapon, and Veyron's shields absorbed it, dispersing the energy harmlessly. Jarek's grin widened. Humans survived by thinking, not just fighting. Finally, they reached a hidden cavern within the asteroid belt, a natural formation that Veyron recognized from ancient star maps. It was a perfect hiding place. The ship's stealth systems cloaked them completely, And for the first time since the chase began, Jarek felt a moment of relief. Safe. For now, he said, exhaling. But they'll be back. And next time they'll bring more. Yes, Veyron said. And when they return, you must be ready. There are systems within me, not yet revealed. Weapons, defenses, intelligence networks. They are dormant until you command them. You must learn to trust yourself. And me? Jarek nodded, feeling a surge of determination. Humans were adaptable. Humans survived. And humans, with courage and cleverness, could face any threat. He moved through the ship again, this time studying the stasis pod. It remained sealed, a silent reminder of the past. But Jarek knew he would unlock its secrets. He would discover who had come before and why their mission had ended. Knowledge was a weapon, and humanity knew how to wield it responsibly. Hours turned into days as he worked, exploring every chamber, understanding every system. Veyron's AI guided him, teaching, correcting, and occasionally testing him. The bond between human and ship grew stronger. The Federation might have assumed humans were weak, predictable, and limited, but Jarek was proving them wrong. Humans could learn, adapt, and surpass expectations. At night, when the asteroid's dim suns cast shadows across the cockpit, Jarek stared at the holographic star maps. Lost civilizations, forgotten fleets, and uncharted sectors stretched before him. Each point of light was a story waiting to be uncovered, and Jarek was the human who would uncover it. Tomorrow, he said softly, we explore further. We find the secrets hidden in the stars, and we show the Federation that humans are not to be underestimated. Veyron's voice was calm, almost approving.
Indeed, pilot.
The galaxy will see what humanity can do. For the first time, Jarek felt the weight of destiny, but also its thrill. A mechanic who had bought a ship for half a credit was no longer just a mechanic. He was a pilot, an explorer, and a guardian of knowledge long thought lost. The hidden cavern inside the asteroid belt was quiet, but Jarek's mind was far from calm. Every sensor in Veyron's systems flickered softly, showing that the Federation would not forget this encounter. They were relentless, patient, and well-equipped. And yet, for the first time, Jarek felt a thrill surge through him, a combination of fear, excitement, and anticipation. Humans thrived in impossible situations, and this was no exception. Veyron, he said, hands resting lightly on the controls. We need to know what we can do. The Federation won't give up. They'll bring more ships, bigger ships, maybe even weapons I haven't seen yet. Can we face them? Yes, Veyron replied calmly. You underestimate your capabilities. Humans are adaptable, clever, persistent, and I'm equipped. Together, we may surprise them. Jarek smiled. Humans had a history of achieving the impossible, turning disadvantages into advantages. This was no different. He activated Veyron's main systems, running diagnostics and testing controls. Every panel, every holographic display, and every energy conduit responded instantly to his touch. The ship was alive. It wasn't just a machine, it was a partner, a living extension of his instincts. Outside, the asteroid belt stretched in jagged lines, hiding countless surprises. The Federation would arrive soon, but Jarek was ready. He plotted a course weaving between massive chunks of rock, using natural shadows and blind spots to mask the ship's signature. Veyron's stealth systems amplified the effect, bending light and energy around them, making the ship nearly invisible to sensors. Hours later, the first wave of Federation frigates appeared. They were sleek, armed with pulse cannons and scanning arrays. Jarek's hands tightened on the controls. He didn't fear them. Humans could think, adapt, and innovate, and he had Veyron. The frigates scanned the area, beams sweeping the cavern, but Veyron's cloaking field absorbed and bent the light. The pulse weapons fired, but they hit nothing, dispersed harmlessly by Veyron's shields. Jarek grinned. Humans survived by thinking faster than the enemy, by using ingenuity over brute force, and he was proving it. Pilot, Veyron said, voice calm but alert. You have mastered basic control. Now we can test advanced systems. You may engage defensive protocols. Use them wisely. Jarek studied the holographic displays. He saw modules for energy redirection, adaptive shields, and drone deployment. Each system was centuries ahead of anything the Federation had. He activated a set of microdrones. They flew out silently, forming a protective barrier, repairing minor damages instantly and disrupting enemy scanners. The frigate's systems went haywire, unable to lock onto Veyron accurately. "Impressive," Jarek whispered. "We're untouchable. For now." But he knew this was only temporary. The Federation would escalate. They always did. And he needed to understand the ship's most powerful systems, the ones designed to enforce peace without destroying worlds. Hours turned into a tense standoff. Jarek studied the Federation ship's patterns, predicting their moves, adjusting Veyron's shields and stealth fields. Every maneuver was precise, almost like a dance. Humans had a natural ability to improvise, to adapt, and to survive. And with Veyron, that ability was amplified exponentially. Finally, the Federation commander spoke over the comm channel. "Human pilot, surrender the vessel. Your actions are illegal. You do not understand the technology you possess. Compliance is required or we will destroy you." Jarek laughed, a sound full of human defiance. "You think threats scare me? You don't know humans. We survive because we think, because we adapt. And we protect what we find valuable. Now you can try to stop us, if you can." Veyron hummed softly, almost approvingly. "They underestimate you. And humanity, it is advantageous." The battle escalated. Federation frigates fired volleys of pulse cannons, but Veyron's shields absorbed the energy, converting it into power for propulsion and countermeasures. Jarek engaged the ship's adaptive systems, creating illusions and decoys that confused the enemy ships. They fired at holograms, energy fields, and phantom signatures, wasting their ammo and resources. Jarek took a deep breath. He wasn't just defending himself, he was making a statement. Humans were clever, capable, and unpredictable, and the Federation was about to learn that lesson the hard way. Then came the most astonishing moment. Veyron activated a long-dormant system, a non-lethal defense mechanism capable of neutralizing entire fleets without harming planets. Pulses of energy spread across space, interacting with the Federation ship systems. Engines shut down. Weapons froze. Communications jammed. The frigates drifted powerless, unable to harm Veyron or the asteroid belt. Jarek leaned back, grinning. "We didn't need to destroy them. We just showed them who's in charge." "Correct," Veyron said. "This is the purpose of my creators. Power, without destruction. Control, and without violence. You understand it intuitively." The Federation ship scrambled. Messages were sent. Leaders argued. The galaxy had never seen a human with such a ship, such technology, and such ingenuity. Word spread quickly. A human was commanding a vessel far beyond the Federation's understanding. Jarek realized the implications. This wasn't just about survival. It was about proving something fundamental. Humans were not weak. Humans were not simple. Humans were capable of brilliance, courage, and morality beyond what others expected. After the battle, Jarek guided Veyron to a safe location deeper within the asteroid belt. The ship's systems hummed softly, repairing minor damages and recalibrating sensors. Jarek finally allowed himself a moment to rest. "Veyron," he said quietly, "we made them see, but this is only the beginning. The Federation will come back, and next time, they'll bring more." "Yes," Veyron replied. "But they now understand. Humans are not to be underestimated. Your species has potential beyond what they anticipated. And now, you have shown it," Jarek smiled. Humans always had a way of surprising the galaxy. Against overwhelming odds, they adapted, they innovated, and they persevered. This was the essence of humanity. And now, with Veyron by his side, he could take that essence further than anyone had imagined. In the following days, Jarek explored the ship further. Hidden compartments revealed alien technology, ancient intelligence modules, and records of civilizations long forgotten. He discovered star maps pointing to lost colonies, secret warp routes, and fleets that had disappeared centuries ago. The potential was staggering, and yet the most intriguing discovery was still the stasis pod. It remained sealed, a silent guardian of knowledge from the past. Jarek knew that understanding it would reveal truths about humans' forgotten role in galactic history. The Federation, in their arrogance, had dismissed humanity as minor players. But the pod and Veyron told a different story. Humans had been influential long before the Federation noticed them. Jarek's thoughts turned to the future. He could explore, discover, and protect. He could show the galaxy that humans were more than they believed. The Federation might try to control him, to take Veyron, to erase this knowledge. But humans had a way of turning the tables. Strategy, ingenuity, and morality were tools as powerful as any weapon. As he prepared for the next stage of his journey, Veyron's systems projected a message. Pilot, the galaxy watches. Your actions will inspire. Your decisions will shape futures. Humans are capable of greatness. Remember this. Jarek clenched his fists, feeling a surge of determination. I remember, and I'll make sure they know. Above him, stars stretched endlessly, the void of space filled with possibilities. He had begun as a simple mechanic who paid half a credit for a forgotten ship. Now he was a pilot, a strategist, and a beacon of human ingenuity. The Federation had been shocked. The galaxy had been reminded that humans could not be underestimated. For 2 standard cycles, Jarek and Veyron stayed hidden in the asteroid belt. The Federation was silent, but silence in the galaxy was never peace. It was preparation. Jarek knew they would come back, not with questions but with fleets. He had embarrassed them. A single human with a half-credit ship had stopped their warships, jammed their systems, and made them powerless without firing a single lethal shot. That kind of event didn't fade quietly. He stood at the edge of Veyron's control chamber, looking at the stars beyond the holographic glass. They looked peaceful, but he knew better. Space was full of noise, fear, and ambition, and soon it would tremble again. Veyron, he said quietly. They're gathering forces, aren't they? Yes, the ship replied. Long-range scans show multiple fleets assembling at nearby sectors. The Federation is mobilizing. They intend to capture or destroy us. Jarek exhaled slowly. He wasn't afraid. Humans had faced worse odds since the beginning of history. They had fought wars, disasters, and extinction itself, and always found a way to rise again. He placed his hand on the glowing console. Then we make them see us, not as thieves or rebels, but as what we really are. Veyron's core hummed softly, almost like it understood. You wish to reveal humanity's truth? Yes, Jarek said. They think we're primitive, emotional, and reckless. But that's not what we are. We're survivors, builders, thinkers. We don't destroy for glory, we fight to protect. He turned toward the sealed stasis pod, the one mystery he hadn't opened yet. For days he had studied its systems, running scans and reading its alien inscriptions. The pod was older than the Federation itself. Far older. Now the time had come. Jarek activated the pod's release sequence. Energy conduits glowed across the walls as ancient mechanisms came to life. The seal cracked, hissing softly as cold air escaped. Then light burst from the pod, projecting a holographic figure. A tall being with a calm expression and crystalline skin that shimmered with intelligence. Identification. Confirmed, the being said, its voice gentle and melodic. Veyron activated. Human genetic signature detected. Authorization granted. Jarek blinked in surprise. You know humans? Yes, the being replied. Humans were once part of the Architects, the ancient alliance that built Veyron. You were explorers, innovators, and dreamers. The galaxy has forgotten your kind's legacy, but I remember. Jarek's heart pounded. The truth hit him like a shockwave. Humans helped build this? Yes, said the hologram. Your species vanished from the stars after the Great Collapse. The Federation rose from the ashes, rewriting history. They feared what humanity could do, more the creativity, the unpredictability. They feared your courage. They called you Death Worlders, but that was their mistake. You were not destroyers. You were creators. Jarek stood silent for a long time. The Federation had erased their past. Humanity had been seen as newcomers to the stars, weak, reckless, untested. But the truth was deeper. Humans had once shaped the stars. Then it's time they remember, Jarek said firmly. Veyron's core pulsed brightly. Agreed, I will help you. The Federation's arrival the next day, the void shook. Hundreds of Federation ships warped into the asteroid belt. Cruisers, destroyers, and carriers. Their formation was perfect, their weapons glowing like a wall of light. Jarek's sensors filled with signals, target locks, scans, and warnings. The Federation Admiral's voice echoed through the comms. This is Admiral Rivos of the Galactic Federation. Human pilot, surrender immediately. You have taken control of forbidden technology and violated interstellar law. Jarek smiled bitterly. Funny. When you found me, you didn't care about laws. You just saw a mechanic buying junk. And now you're afraid of what I found. Afraid? Rivos replied. No, we fear what you might become. Hand over the ship and you may live. Jarek's voice hardened. No, I won't surrender humanity's legacy. You've built your Federation on the ruins of those who came before. But the truth won't stay buried. With that, he cut the transmission. Veyron, he said, Let's show them the difference between power and understanding. The Battle of the Forgotten Belt Federation ships advanced in tight formation. Hundreds of energy beams crossed the void, cutting through asteroids and debris. The silence of space broke into chaos. Jarek's hands moved with precision. He didn't fight like the Federation expected. He didn't aim to kill or destroy. He used the field itself, asteroids, light, energy distortion, turning nature into his weapon. "Deploy drones," he ordered. Veyron obeyed. Swarms of metallic orbs flew out, forming complex energy webs that bent light and created holographic illusions. Federation sensors detected a dozen Veyrons, all moving in different directions. Targeting error. A Federation officer shouted, "We can't lock on." "Maintain fire," Rivos commanded, but his ships fired at ghosts. Jarek used the confusion to move Veyron directly behind the fleet. His human reflexes and instincts filled the gaps that no computer could predict. He moved unpredictably, the way only humans could. Human decision patterns. "Illogical," Veyron noted with amusement. "That's what makes us human," Jarek replied with a grin. He fired a pulse, not a weapon, but a wave of electromagnetic energy. It rippled through the Federation ships, disabling their shields but leaving their crews unharmed. The Federation fleet went dark, powerless, drifting in space. Jarek opened a transmission again. His voice carried calm authority. "I didn't destroy you. I could have. But humans don't fight to erase others. We fight to protect what we believe in. You call us dangerous because we act on heart and reason. Maybe that's true. But that's also what makes us alive." Silence filled the channel. For a moment, the galaxy itself seemed to listen. Then Admiral Rivos spoke again, quieter this time. "What are you?" Jarek looked out at the stars. A mechanic who paid half a credit for the truth. The message heard across the stars. The battle's data spread faster than any fleet. Across the Federation worlds, people saw it. A human commanding an ancient ship, disabling fleets without destruction, speaking with conviction and mercy. Scholars questioned the Federation's history. Citizens whispered about forgotten truths. And in the darkness of the galaxy, something awakened. Curiosity, respect, and fear. Veyron's systems received countless transmissions from unknown sources. Some wanted to learn, some wanted to challenge, but all now knew one fact. Humans were not what they seemed. "Pilot," Veyron said softly, "the galaxy watches you now. You have changed the narrative." "What will you do?" Jarek smiled faintly. "What humans always do. We'll explore, build, help where we can, and if someone threatens us again..." He looked at the silent Federation ships floating helplessly in the distance. "We'll remind them, never underestimate a human." Epilogue. Legacy of the Mechanic. Weeks later, Jarek and Veyron left the asteroid belt. The Federation, shaken but wiser, made no attempt to follow. He navigated toward a new system, following the star maps hidden in Veyron's archives. Each point marked a place once touched by ancient humanity, forgotten colonies, lost outposts, and dormant ships. At one of the markers, he found something extraordinary, a human-made beacon thousands of years old. It activated as soon as Veyron approached. A holographic recording appeared, a human woman wearing an old spacesuit. Her voice was calm but full of warmth. "To whoever finds this, know that we were here. We built, we dreamed, we reached beyond our limits. If you are human, remember, our legacy isn't in the machines we left behind. It's in the courage to keep reaching for the stars." Jarek felt a lump in his throat. He whispered, "We never stopped. We're still reaching." Veyron's lights glowed softly, almost like a heartbeat. "You carry their legacy well, Jarek. You are proof that humanity endures." Jarek smiled and looked ahead. The stars stretched endlessly, dangerous, beautiful, and waiting. He had started as a poor mechanic on a forgotten asteroid, but now he was something else. "Symbol. Let's go, Veyron," he said. "We have a galaxy to remind who the humans really are." The ship surged forward, engines flaring with soft blue light. The void opened before them like a sea of possibilities, and as they vanished into the stars, the message spread. A human paid half a credit for a ship and made the galaxy remember what humanity truly means.